live life intentionally. I understand. I do. I really do understand that sometimes you feel defeated. Sometimes you feel like life is attacking you so much and you have no idea what you did to deserve it. I know. I understand. God should be the ultimate stepping stone for you to get to the top. So understand how to steward your pain, to properly navigate your resources, your connections, to get to where you need to be. But take some time to get to know yourself. I feel as though we are so caught up in what society wants us to be, what the world wants us to be, what our partners want us to be, what our parents want us to be, and we get so indulged in being these different versions of ourselves for everyone that when we sit and really be with ourselves, we realize that we have no idea who we are. What's up, you guys? It is my absolute pleasure to finally introduce you to the first ever episode of the Purposeful Podcast. Welcome one, welcome all. Grab your pillow, grab your sheet, baby, grab your blanket, because we are here for a long journey. In this episode, I'm just going to be getting into the podcast, what it's about, and just telling you guys a bit about how I came about to the podcast, and I'm going to tell you all the good stuff. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of all of that, I just want to give you guys your flowers and say thank you so much for all the love and support that you guys have been showing so far towards the podcast and our pages, our social media pages. You guys have been liking, sharing, subscribing, and I just want to say thank you all so much, so very much. And I want to encourage you to continue to like, share, and subscribe. We're on YouTube, we are on Instagram and TikTok. I'm gonna put a link to all of our social media pages on this video, so you guys can continue to like, share, and subscribe, and just spread the word, spread the podcast. I do believe that this podcast is intentional and we are meant to meet a certain group of people. Guys, please help me to reach those people. We are here for a reason. So I just wanted to give you guys your flowers, and if you are new here, you're welcome, because we're all new here. Just grab your pillow, grab your sheet, your blanket, and get comfortable, because we are about to go deep into everything, every aspect of life, everything you can think about. We are going to be discussing on this podcast. So I did put out some questions asking you guys anything that you want for me to discuss on this first episode. A lot of you guys requested some questions on the podcast, what it's about, and then a few of you guys wanted to know a little bit about me, and I'm so excited if you guys want to get to know me. Oh my gosh, wow. So let me start by telling you a bit about myself. My name, like I said, is Danica Giddings, and that's Danica with A and not an E. Please don't spell it with an E. If I catch you spelling it with an E, please prepare to throw hands, because girl, we are going to fight. We are going to fight. So that's Danica with an A and two N's and okay, listen, you guys are gonna see the name. It's Danica Giddings. I am 26 years old, guys. I'm about to be 27 in a few weeks. And let me tell you this, I don't know if it's just me, but I could not believe that we are the adults of the day. Like, girl, who who qualified us to be the adults of today? We are so underqualified, and if you feel the same way, just drop it in the comments and let me know, because I know I'm not the only one. Who feel like, what are we doing as the adults of today? What is going on? We were babies the other day. What is going on? Ciao. We are the leaders of today. That is scary. That is a scary thought. But let me tell you a bit about the podcast. Oh, I forgot to mention, I am Guyanese, born and raised. Shout out to all my Guyanese people. Shout out to all my Caribbean people. You guys lock in. I'm going to be having some good stuff on here for you guys. We're going to be talking about all of the stuff that we go through in the Caribbean household. And if you know, you know. So we're going to be getting into all of that. To tell you a bit about the podcast. The podcast, like I said, the name is the Purposeful Podcast, and how I came about that name and just the idea of the podcast in general. So I started to write this book in 2018. It is called Purpose. I'm still writing it slowly but surely. Slowly but surely, but we'll get there. It's all right. But I started to write this book about purpose, and the book entails details about my life experiences and the reasons that I believe certain things happen and how exactly you navigate life and your experiences to get you to that place of fulfilling purpose. And a lot of the thoughts and ideas and just concepts from the book came from my mentor, who would have been helping me to navigate those situations and circumstances at that time. I'm so thankful for him. I'm so blessed to have him. He has been a blessing to my life in so many ways. I cannot even begin to let you guys to let you guys know how much he has blessed my life. So that is the book. It's Purpose, and God has been putting it on my spirit to start this podcast for the longest while. And I've been being a bit disobedient just because I was so scared. I was so scared, child. Because I'm not one to want to mislead people, and to just misguide persons. Because I understand when you put yourself in a certain spotlight, when you have a certain platform, whether you like it or not, persons tend to look up to you. They tend to look up to you and your lifestyle, and I wanted everything that I have, everything that I'm going through, my life basically, to reflect one that someone can look up to. Because I don't think that my life is a reflection of what you should be. But God has just been putting it heavily on my spirit to start this podcast, regardless of the position that I think I am in. He knows that there's a certain set of people that I'm supposed to reach, I guess. So I'm choosing to be obedient, because for those of you who know that you do not want to play with God. I solely believe that I don't want God to show me a thing or two, so to speak, as Caribbean people would say. I don't want God to show me a thing or two, because sometimes when we procrastinate and when we're disobedient to God, then God has to push us. And baby, that push that we get, sometimes it's in the harshest of lessons. And I'm not about to try the big man. So I'm just here to tell you guys that I was instructed to start this podcast. So I'm here, and you guys are going to be here with me, because we are meant to learn and grow together. We are meant to heal together, and I am meant to be here. You guys are meant to be here with me. Don't argue with me. It wasn't my plan. It was not my plan. So let's get into it. So I was praying about a podcast, and I was praying about the name of the podcast, and I thought that I'm going to name it Purpose, to reflect the book. Because if you know me, you know that I'm very passionate about purpose. I'm one of those people who believe that every single thing, everything that happens in our lives happens for a reason. Everything that we would have experienced those things for a reason. Every person that we would have encountered, it was intentional. Now the onus is on us, that when we have these experiences, when we have these resources, when we have everything in a set moment in order to achieve our purpose, the onus is on us to steward those things, to understand and navigate those experiences, to understand that we have the resources, and the only thing that we need to do is to use it in accordance with the will and the word of God. And that is the only way to achieve the purpose of a thing, or in whatever season. Because I also believe that purpose in itself is subjective to the season that you are in. Of course, there is an overall purpose. There is a thing that you were destined to do, that you are ordained to do and to achieve. That thing is your ultimate purpose. In every season of our lives, we have experiences and we have circumstances, situations, people that we encounter that is meant to mold and shape us and shift and change our mindset so that we can understand purpose in that season. So, if you're in a particular place right now, let's say you're at a particular job and you are meant to be there, maybe your purpose in that season is to change that environment. Maybe your purpose in that season is to bring a different point of view to that environment. So, that can be your purpose in the season that you were in. You were meant to fulfill that in that time space that you are in. So we're going to be talking about all that good stuff. We're going to have all the different people on here in every aspect of life that you can even begin to imagine. We are going to be covering on this platform. I'm going to have persons talking about purpose in fashion, purpose in finances, purpose in business, purpose in every single thing, purpose in your career, purpose in music, purpose, every single thing that you can touch on. We are going to have persons on here. Also, and one of the most important guests I want to have on this podcast is a licensed therapist. Yep, because we are going to be healing. We are going to be healing from the traumas that we would have experienced in the past. We are going to be healing from the habits that we would have developed because of a past trauma or something that would have happened in the past. Because what I find that is happening in our generation today, we are, like I said, we are the adults of today, and we have certain habits that stemmed all the way from our childhood, and we do not understand that. We do not even know. I'll give you an example, and this is no offense to my Caribbean parents, my Caribbean mothers and fathers. You guys are the real MVP. Because first of all, if you grow up in a Caribbean household, you know you had to be on your P's and your Q's because we had to have had it together. So, no shade to my Caribbean household or my Caribbean parents. One of the things, I don't know if this is a general concept, but I know for sure in the Caribbean household, we are taught not to talk back to our elders. We are taught everybody's auntie and uncle. I don't get that. I really don't, up until this day. But it was deemed as something of respect. And when an adult speaks to you, you were not allowed to, speak back. To speak your mind, to express. And I'm not saying in no way, shape, or form that you should ever be rude to your elders. Never. But that simple thing has caused us to suppress so much. So much. Till a lot of us in today's adult society, we are people pleasers, and we do not know why. We like to keep the peace among people. We don't like to say too much. So even if somebody does something or says something that offends us, we kind of keep it to ourselves, even in our jobs, in our friendships, because of the simple fact that we were taught to not speak back to people, or to, what happens in this house stays in this house. Those things has silenced us to some extent. And we are now having to deal with feeling guilty every time we speak out for ourselves. So those are some of the things I want to get into. Another thing that I find happening in today's society not today's society because it's been happening, but there's a story that recently happened here in Ghana, and I'm not going to say too much about it because, it has been a lot, and my condolences to the family of this young lady. But this girl would have unalived herself because she was depressed. And a lot of in a Caribbean household, you go tell your parents you're depressed, they be like, you better depress them wares in the sink. So it is something that I believe that a lot of people struggle with. I myself struggle with expressing myself because of these things, and I know that I'm not the only one. And this is partially what this podcast is about. It's essentially to just build a community where we all can feel safe, where we all can feel heard, where you can seek advice from persons who would be going through the same things that you are currently going through or have gone through, and that can advise you on how to navigate that, what you're experiencing in the moment, that feeling, that hurt, whatever it is you're going through, how to navigate it, how to steward that thing and turn it into something great. I can guarantee you, I've been thinking about this for so long. I can guarantee you, there isn't a single successful person that does not have a story of trauma or hardship. There is not a single person, because those things are inevitable if you want to reach your greatness, if you want to maximize on purpose. Those things are inevitable. Like, you cannot achieve your ultimate purpose without going through those hardship. And a lot of times what you find happening is persons giving up before they get there. And a lot of times, sorry, you listen to even these successful people and you hear them saying, oh, if it wasn't for this person, I would not have been here. If I hadn't had this community, I would not have been here. And I realized that there are a lot of people with so much potential, so much potential, but they cannot reach that, or they do not feel as though they can do that because they do not have that support system, that community. What about the people that does not genuinely does not have that community that will allow them to reach that greatness? So I want this podcast to be a place where we all can help each other, each one teach one, and just not live life in a competitive way to where we are trying to pull the next person down to get to the top, but where we can understand that we all can get there. We all can help each other get to that higher peak in our lives, to where when I reach the top, I do not look down on you, but I reach my hands out. I reach my hands out and I pull you up with me. And while it's important to understand that you have the capability and you have the resources and you can get to the top, understand that getting to the top does not allow for you to use persons as your stepping stone. I find that happens. I've experienced that happen so much, to where persons believe life to be a competition to the point where they use other people as their stepping stones to get to the top. No. That's not what we do. Your stepping stone should be your experiences. Your stepping stone should be your resources. Your stepping stone should be your community. Your stepping stone should be your plan, your purpose. God should be the ultimate stepping stone for you to get to the top, and not just for you to walk up or step up on these things and not look back, but to understand and appreciate and be grateful for the things that has led you to that purpose. Gratitude is so important. Gratitude is the number one thing, and if you listen to any person of success speak on their success, they will let you know that gratitude is one of the most important things that has allowed them to get to that peak of success. Because when you have a heart full of gratitude, more things come for you to be grateful for. It's the law of attraction. It is the law of attraction. If you wake up every day and all you do is complain, life will give you more things to complain about. I promise you, life will give you more to complain about. But if you can wake up every day and be grateful for where you are in the moment, what you have right now, and do your best with what you have in this moment, in this season, do your absolute best and give 100% with what you have and where you are, you will get to the next level. You will get to the next level. You will reach the people that you need to reach. The doors will be open wide for you to walk right through into the next level. But you have to be able to be grateful for what you have right now, and to understand how to steward your pain understand how to properly navigate your resources, your connections to get to where you need to be. So, we're going to be covering all of that on this podcast. We're going to have all of the people talking here. We are going to just create a community and a family for persons to feel safe, and we are going to learn and grow together. I promise you guys that I'm going to be 100% transparent with you on this journey, on this podcast. And I want you guys to also hold me responsible for anything that I say I'm going to do. I want you to hold me responsible. If there's anything that you're struggling with, any topic that you want us to discuss on this podcast, drop it in the comments. I want you guys to engage. I don't want this to be a one-way thing where I'm just speaking to you guys, but also you can share with me your experiences. You can share your experiences with me also. If you have a question, if you have something that you're struggling with and you want me to reach out to a certain individual, or you want my advice on the thing, do feel free to reach out. I will try my utmost best to get back to each and every one of you, because that is the most important thing. This platform is not for me. It is not for me. It is for you guys, and it's for you guys to connect and to reach each other and to build a community and a family, and for us to just learn and grow together, like I said, and to live life intentionally. Intentionally, guys. Please live your life intentionally. I'm one of those people that believe that nothing just happens just because. Absolutely nothing happens just because. I believe that there is purpose in everything, in every encounter, in every experience. But the onus is on us. Like I keep saying, the onus is on you. The onus is on you to do your utmost best and to see the silver lining in those bad experiences. I understand. I do. I really do understand that sometimes you feel defeated. Sometimes you feel like life is attacking you so much and you have no idea what you did to deserve it. I know. I understand. And I understand the human emotions behind it. And while you're in that season of processing everything, I do want you to keep in your mind, at the back of your mind, that there is a bigger reason. There is a bigger purpose. This will allow you to not give up. It will allow you to hold on. I promise you it will. It will. So I want you to keep that in the back of your mind. I also like to tell people that in a certain season of your life, at a certain time, I don't know if that time is now, but take some time to get to know yourself. I feel as though we are caught up, we are so caught up in what society wants us to be, what the world wants us to be, what our partners want us to be, what our parents want us to be. And we get so indulged in being these different versions of ourselves for everyone that when we sit and really be with ourselves, we realize that we have no idea who we are. Genuinely have no idea who we are. So I want you to take some time to sit in solitude, not isolation. I did not say isolation. And I want to shout out B. Simone. B. Simone has a podcast called the Let's Try This Again podcast. I want you guys to go check it out right now on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. He was talking about the difference between isolation and solitude, where isolation, she was talking about it being a place of just keeping to yourself, loneliness. It feels like bondage. It feels like it's being forced, to where you're keeping away from all your family, friends, loved ones, and it's just an unhealthy place to be. Whereas solitude is more intentional, to where you're purposefully keeping to yourself, not just for the sake of being away from everyone or detached from everyone, but for you to come to a place of understanding who you are genuinely, without the noises, without the background, without anything else but you. Sitting alone, understanding who you are, learning your likes, your dislikes, learning about what you are capable of genuinely as a person, and learning to love yourself in that moment, in that season, in that period of your life, wherever you are. So when you sit in solitude, you get to drown out all the outside voices, you know? And it doesn't mean that you stay away from your family, your friends, and so on, but you take some time to genuinely learn about who you are, genuinely. And then you heal in that period because you want the next relationship, not necessarily romantic, but whatever platonic or even your current relationships with your family, your friends, you want to be able to give them the best version of who you are. So we are going to be getting into the nitty-gritty of all that good stuff, guys. I'm telling you, I want you to lock in because we are going to be building a strong force that will lift each other up. The aim or the aim is not for just the sake of doing a podcast or not, saying much, but it is really and truly to help us be resilient against anything that would be set forth our way. Because let me just say this, you are going to have trials and tribulations. That is a promise. What you do with it is entirely up to you, but it is promised that you will definitely have trials and tribulations. So I want you guys to really genuinely lock in. And if you know anything about me, you would know that purpose is a big, big part of my life. I do believe wholly and solely in it. I figured that out. I figured that I was passionate about purpose not when I started Toastmasters. And for those of you who don't know what Toastmasters is, it is a club that teaches you how to perfect public speaking. So I'm a part of Toastmasters. I love Toastmasters. I haven't been able to give it as much of my attention as I want to recently, but if you don't know what it is, I recommend that you guys check it out. If you love to socialize, or even if you're shy, if you're an introvert and you don't really speak much and that is something that you want to overcome, I do recommend Toastmasters, especially the legendary Toastmasters Club. Shout out to you guys. If you guys want, you can drop it in the comments and I'll definitely give you guys a link, give you guys some contacts, and let you get involved in that. But the club teaches you how to perfect public speaking, and in that you're allowed to prepare prepared speeches, you're allowed to do speeches, you're allowed to do impromptu speeches where they would give you a topic on spot and then you have to speak about that thing. And every single time you can expect me to speak on purpose. I guarantee that you can expect me to speak on the topic purpose. And that is when I realized that I'm way more passionate about learning about my purpose than I thought. And one of the biggest, not exactly motivation, but one of the things that drove me to be obedient in starting the podcast was when I had a speech competition sometime and I was speaking about purpose, and at the end of it I got a message to my phone, and this person expressed to me that they were feeling so lost in this season, so lost in this time, and for the longest while they could not figure out what their next step is meant to be. And after having heard my speech, they now know a way to move forward. And that, you guys do not know how much that meant to me. And it made me realize that a lot of people are there. A lot of people are in that space. A lot of people are in that mindset. So I want to help you guys, and I want you guys to help me also, because I'm going to need you as much as you need me. And we are going to get there. We are going to get to that greatness, to that purpose. And trust, I will leave no topic untouched everything that you can think about. You want comedy? We're gonna have purpose in comedy. Trust, we're gonna have purpose in finance. Because a lot of you, I'm watching you that don't know how to steward your finances. Because, girl, me too. Me too. Me too. So we're gonna get into that. That is one of the most important things that I want to talk about. Our finances. We guys, we need to get it together. We are the adults of today. We cannot be playing with our finances. So hey y'all, thank you so much for staying till the end of this video. Thank you all for watching, and I know that we have some amazing things planned for the podcast, so I want you to stay tuned. We are going to be dropping our audio podcast on Thursday on Apple Podcasts, and then on Friday the video podcast will be dropping on YouTube. So I want you guys to look out for those and stay tuned, and I will see you next time, babies. Bye.